Hello, shiny happy people. Welcome to Kimbaskrafts. My name is Kim, and if you're new here, hello, welcome. Glad you could stop in, and I hope you like what you hear and see. And if you're returning, love you guys. So appreciative of all of you. So we are here to do another mystery square. It is Tuesday. It's still Tuesday. I uploaded my DPGALCREATIONS unboxing. Got my little tray stand there. So I did talk to Jacqueline. I think this is the first time I've ever talked to her. I just thanked her for sending me that. And she said that they're hoping to have them on the storefront next week. So yeah, as soon as I see them or if I hear anything, I will be sure to let you guys know. Okay. So, definitely that's how I'm going to have them in my craft room as I get more of them. I have more of them, but I have different sizes. So here's the large tray. So this is a standard tray. So this is the large, and then here's the small. So I like the standard. It's just my favorite, but this is the different sizes, just so you can see. And you see the stoppers fit all of them. So yeah, love that. Love it. And then she has some with lids and everything. So I actually was using the large one, and it was really helpful on like areas that had a lot of the same color. So I'm probably going to get more of those too. Okay, anyway, back to why we are here. We are here for the mystery reveal. Oops, I just turned my computer off. So if you are completely new here, this is my mystery canvas. It's from the company, The One with the Diamond Art. And I do not know the name of the artist. I do not know the name of the painting. So this is a complete mystery to me. And I ordered the square mystery canvas with a B. And I ordered what was called Premium Artist Select or something like that. So it is a known artist, I guess. Like not a stock photo. I think that's what it means. So anyway, some people already know what the painting is. They have seen this picture before. I am not one of those people. So once my computer boots up, we are going to spin the wheel, and I have these animals on the stickers here listed on the wheel, and we're going to go ahead and diamond paint that square that the wheel picks. So my computer is up. Let's see, we have 13, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 squares left. And there's 13 animals listed. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Ghost Tree. I named this one Ghost Tree. What's a ghost tree? Well, let's take a look and let's see what the ghost tree has to say to us. Let me just put my glasses on because this writing looks very small. That's a ghost tree. It's okay. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's okay to feel unhappy sometimes. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful or that you're failing at being happy. That is so true. Ghost tree, you guys know a lot, don't you? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ghosts in this tree. They're so cute. Okay, so that's where we're going today. We're building off of this big block here. We've done like every other, and then now this would have been every other on this side. So we're going to diamond paint Ghost Tree today. All right, guys, I'm going to get us set up. Hold on. Okay. So I feel like this is on very much an angle. I should use my light pad. You know, that's what I've been doing with the Dreamers designs, just to really see the... Yeah, that way I can really see what lines I'm cutting. And yeah, we're gonna go along that line there. Because this is gonna be a very big square. And this goes all the way out to here. And actually, that's the only cut I need to make, because you can peel it back like this. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. All right. That was fast, huh? I'm getting good at this. And then, let me get us set up. Hold on. Okay. Whew. I am so sore. I went to the gym yesterday and my body is like, hates me right now. Everything hurts. I did leg day and my upper body, my traps, everything hurts. Good times. Anyway, so my traps, you know, like the muscles, like here's your neck, right? Your traps are like right here above your shoulders. On fire today. But anyway, I don't know if you can hear the rain. It is raining pretty hard here today. Oh, what am I doing? That's too small. Yeah, so I haven't used the metal tip. I only use the metal tip when I do this. So I did like it the last time I used it. I always say that. I haven't gotten any more. This is a 6 placer. And I like working with a 7. But, I don't know. I think I have a plastic 6 on my Dreamers designs right now. My single placer may need a new glue dot. I don't care about the popping noise. I just don't think it's sticky at all. Let me try flipping it. So anyway, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well and had... What did I do with that? I just threw my glue dot. I don't know where it is. I brought Narwhal out. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. I have my little bag of goodies here. I got my glue dots dispenser. So I just, till I see another glue dot. There's 2 of them there. Can you see that? They're like twins. They're attached to each other. But I only want one because that would be way too much. Give me one. They were Siamese twins. I need to get my nails done. I am so behind in life. I don't know why I just have not been able to be on top of it. But, okay. You know what I need? I need a good week off from work just to catch up on my life here. Catch up on my videos. Catch up on my house. Okay. Let's see. That should do it. This is probably way too sticky now. Okay, perfect. All right, so what is new? A lot's new. So I told you guys on my weekly wrap-up yesterday that I had a week yesterday, or a week last week, And yeah, so it's raining pretty hard here. You might even hear it against my windows. I'm feeling like it's pretty cold everywhere. Like, I've been listening to a couple of Wip and Chats, people saying how cold they are. It's really cold here as well, and it's raining. Like, I went outside, I took the dog out, and she hates the rain. So it was like kind of torture for her, but she had to go to the bathroom really bad. And I was thinking, wow, if it was just a little colder, all of this would be snow. And it's been raining pretty much all day, a lot. So thank goodness it's not colder. What is this? Oh, it's putty. So anyway, I hope everyone's having a good week. I feel like all over the place. I don't know. Has anybody started Christmas shopping? I haven't started Christmas. I'm always a last minute shopper, and I'm like, keep promising myself I'm not going to do that this year, and yet I haven't bought a thing. So I have to do that. But tomorrow I finally get to, I finally scheduled an appointment with a doctor about my shoulder. So I called the ortho, I guess, appointment line, and I explained to them what was going on, and they said that I should see a sports medicine doctor first so that we could try, you know, some non-surgical. We don't even know what's wrong, so I guess like to investigate and then to try some non-surgical interventions, like maybe physical therapy or something like that, which I would love if we could just fix this with some physical therapy. So I'm going to see a sports medicine doctor tomorrow afternoon, and I'm really excited about that because I'm really starting to lose a lot of range of motion. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have to say. I'm guessing I'm going to have to get some imaging on it. I've never even had an x-ray. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I have to get my nails done. They're a hot mess. I'm probably going to do that tomorrow as well. And I still have to record my haunted house post review. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so that's my fridge. I don't know why it's talking to us. Okay, so last week. So last week, I spent all of Monday and all of Tuesday. I was off. What was I off? Monday, Tuesday, I worked Wednesday. Then I was off Thursday, Friday, and I worked Saturday. So I spent all of Monday and all of Tuesday decorating my advent calendar. And I showed you guys my advent calendar, my advent canvas. And it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. So I decorated that Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I don't think I did anything Wednesday. I don't think, because I worked Wednesday night. So I had to work Wednesday night, and I came home Thursday morning, and of course I went to sleep. And when I woke up to go to the bathroom, and Bob tells me that the electric's off, and you know, they're working on the electric. And I'm like, okay. So I go back to sleep, and I woke up again around, like I always wake up around 1 o'clock or something like that to like want to get up for the day. And so it was like 1 o'clock. I woke up and I go out and he tells me they're still working on the electric. And I'm like, okay. So I thought, you know what? Can't do anything. I can't make a cup of coffee. I'm just going to go back to sleep then. So I'll just get some more sleep and I'll get up in a little bit. So I went back to sleep and then it was like 4 o'clock. I wake up and I come out here and he's talking to the electrician. And I was like, we have electric? And he's like, no, we have a problem. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I sit down and the electrician's standing there and he's like, I don't think we're going to have electric tonight, Bob says to me. I'm like, what? And I'm like looking at them like, you've got to be kidding me. And Bob's like, yeah, he needs PSE&G to come out. They are not coming out. So that's our electric company. They're not coming out today, this and that. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I'm thinking about all the things that I can't do. I can't, you know, make a cup of coffee. I can't diamond paint. I can't turn a light on. I can't take a hot shower. So my whole house is electric. We have no gas. I totally forgot what I was talking about. My daughter came home and I had to turn it off, and yeah, I have no idea what we were talking about. I was telling you guys about my shoulder. I think I, oh yeah, the electric. Okay, so, yeah, so they basically tell me, like, yeah, I'm not going to have electric, that the contractor, Paul, and let me tell you, my contractor, the guy who we hired to do this job, he's awesome. Like, he really cares about, you know, he really is. Like, I really like him. He's down to earth. He's, you know, he felt horrible. He brought a generator over for the refrigerator. And so Bob was like, well, we can hook up the generator to the refrigerator in one lamp. And I just looked at him and I was like, I'm not staying here. Like, I'm not. No. So he was talking and I was already looking up hotels. I'm like, I'm going to a hotel. And Bob was supposed to work. And he was like, well, you're not going to a hotel alone, so I'm going to call out. So he called out and he came with me. And then Paul showed up with the generator and it was like really loud. And it was in the sunroom, enslaving into the kitchen, and it was really loud. And so we dropped the dog off. I didn't have anything to eat or drink until 7 o'clock. Like, after everything was said and done, because I had to pack, drop the dog off, feed and walk her, because I didn't want my mom to have to do that. Yeah, it was 7 o'clock. We left the house. We stopped and got Wawa, which is like a convenience store for us. I grabbed a cup of coffee, and we grabbed dinner from there, and we went to the hotel. And we had Bob's, you know, long-waited doctor's appointment, like the one that's an hour and a half away. So technically we could have gone and stayed up there, but there's two things about that. One, it's more expensive up there. The hotel up there was like twice the amount of money that the hotel down here was. And two, I did not feel like driving an hour and a half on Thursday night. Like, I was still tired and hadn't eaten or had anything to drink yet. So I just wanted to get somewhere where we can get settled with electric and just relax for the evening. So I brought the 2 kit-ups that I showed you in my weekly wrap-up. And Bob was still exhausted. He worked the night before, and he was up most of the day with the electrician. So he was really tired. So when we got to the hotel, we ate, and we ended up not staying in the room that the video was even made in. That's another story. So we walk into the room, and it is, guys, it was so heavily perfumed. I almost fell over. When we opened the door, it literally smelled like someone like spilled like 5 bottles of Febreze, or sprayed 5 bottles of Febreze on the carpets or something. It was horrible. And I started to like fan the door to get some of the air out, and then we turned the air conditioning down real low. And yeah, it was really bad. So then I recorded the video. We actually ate, and then he went and laid down, and I started to do my kit up. So I started to I separated all my colors. It was like 65 colors. I had them all separated into piles all around me on that sofa. And he climbs out of bed, and he comes over, and he's like, I can't even breathe in here. Like, it's so bad. And you really couldn't get used to it. I don't know if you've ever been into like a Yankee Candle store. It was that bad. Like, he was like, I can't stay in this room. So he calls downstairs, and he tells them, you need to give us another room. Like, this room smells awful. We can't stay in this room. I can't breathe in this room. So he's like, in fact, I don't even want to be on this floor. He's like, I think it's the whole floor. And so they're like, okay. And they issue us, she's like, I'll be down with a new card with new keys and a new room for you guys. And she's like, to check out the room. So she wanted to come and smell the room, I guess. So she comes in, and she like takes a sniff. She's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, you want to fall over right now, don't you? And it probably smelled a lot better than when we first walked in there, because we had food in there, and we turned the air conditioning down so low. So I'm sure it didn't hit her in the face like it hit us in the face. But anyway, we moved. We actually went up a floor, and he's like, he packs up everything, and he looks at me, and I have like 65, bags of colors all around me. And I'm just like, I'll meet you up there. So then I had to pack all of that back up. And then we went into another room. We settled in that room. It was so much better. I don't know why we didn't do that from the get-go. And yeah, we spent the night. And the next morning, we went up to the hour-and-a-half away appointment to see the doctor. And I'll tell you all about that too, and give you an update on that. But the electric thing was an issue. So we were like on the phone with the electrician, with our contractor. Like, we were calling the electric company, and they were telling him it was not an emergency. And he's like, how is this not an emergency when there's no electric in the house? And oh, that's what I was starting to tell you before my daughter came home. We have no other source of energy in the house. So our house has no gas. We're not gas and electric. It is 100% electric. So like, we can't boil water. We have no hot water. We have, our stove doesn't work. So there's like, you can't do anything in the house. So he was like, there's no electric in our house. And they were like, well, it says here that there's electric to your house. And he said, I understand that, but here's the thing. So I guess we were upgrading the panel. I don't know anything about electricity, guys, okay? So this is what they tell me. So we were going from like, I don't know, let's say a 20 slot panel to like a 30 slot panel because there wasn't enough slots for all the new outlets and stuff that were going to be put into the sunroom. So we had to upgrade the panel. We were using all of the slots on the panel already. So we were maxed out. We needed a larger panel, and the electrician started to do that part, and he put in the new panel. He took the old panel out, but when he went to reconnect the new panel, the wires were too short to extend and reach, or at least one of them was too short to extend and reach the top of the panel. So he wanted PSE&G to come out, the electric company, to come out and shut the power off to the house from the street and let him change the wires, extend them, and then turn it back on. Okay, so we're on the phone with PSE&G. The contractor's on the phone with PSE&G, and Friday was Veterans Day. So I don't know how many calls my husband made. I don't know how many calls the contractor made, but like it wasn't going to happen. They were telling them it's not happening today, and we were just like, this is ridiculous. Like, so we're going to have to stay in a hotel again. Like, this is ridiculous. And luckily, neither one of us had to work Friday night. So we get home. We didn't get home until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We get home and we park outside the house, and Bob's like, let me go in the house first. So he goes in the house first, and I see him throw open all the windows. He comes outside with this machine, and it's beeping, and it turned out it was our CO2 monitor. So like our carbon monoxide levels were like really high in the house, and from the generator. The generator was no longer running because it ran out of gas or whatever. So like it wasn't even habitable. It was inhabitable anyway, the house. So thank God I didn't stay here, because I would have probably died. And the poochie. And my daughter, because like I called my daughter and I was like, you need to find a place to stay. So he opened up all the windows, and he said when he got into the house was really, really cold. And it was kind of humid that day. I don't know why, but it was humid outside. And it was raining. It was humid and raining. And so by the time, he aired out the house and everything, and I was able to go in. I go inside. Now, nothing's running. There's no electricity. The generator's not working because it's out of, whatever gas, propane, I don't know what it takes. And the floors are wet. The countertops are wet. Everything in my house is wet. It's like someone took a hose, and I'm like, why is everything wet? It just felt so gross. I was so unhappy. I was so upset. And Bob said it's just condensation because of the hot air coming in when the house was so cold. It just was it was just so uncomfortable. And so the contractor and Bob talked to our neighbor, and the neighbor agrees to allow us to slave an extension cord to one of their outside outlets to run a refrigerator and one light overnight. And Bob's like, we're staying here. And so we had picked up the dog on the way home. So we already had her from my mom's. I mean, they would have watched her again. But he told me, he was like, we're not staying in another hotel. Like, we're going to stay in our house. So we stayed Friday night in our house with no electric. One light. And I did diamond paint luckily this light pad has a charge. So I did with the one light and this light pad, I did do some of the haunted house, but like I couldn't record anything. I couldn't do like a mystery. First of all, it was too dark. And second of all, like I had to conserve my phone battery. But my daughter and I were sitting out here talking. She was crocheting and I was diamond painting and Bob was sleeping. And he comes busting out of the room. I don't know what time it was. And he's like, this is basically like bull crap. Why are we put out? Why are we uncomfortable? Why is, you know, like, why are we suffering? This is, and so he's like, I was just looking it up. That's something they can do with the electric on. They just put the big gloves on. Like, I don't know what the problem is. And he's like, I'm calling the contractor tomorrow and I'm telling him, listen, there better be electric in our house tomorrow. Like, I don't know. I don't care if you have to hire a new electrician. I don't care what you have to do. But like, this is not appropriate. Like, we're not living like this. Because at this point it was Saturday. I mean, it would have been Saturday. And yeah, like no one's coming out for us on Saturday. So that's what he did. We woke up Saturday morning and he called the contractor and he told him exactly that. He was like, you know, we're not going one more day without electric in this house. You either bring in the electrician and he has to put the old panel back in. I don't care what has to happen, but like, this is not, we're not staying here like this one more day. And so he called another electrician and he was like, oh yeah, I can do that. No problem. He's like, the electric company's not going to come out and turn off the electric for that. So that guy came and replaced the panel in literally 15 minutes. Like, I'm laying on the, I was so depressed, guys. Like, you don't realize, I was so depressed. I was like laying on the couch. And I'm just like, you know, I can't do anything. I can't take a hot shower. I can't make any coffee. I'm just going to lay here. I have to work tonight. Like, I guess I'm going to go to my mom's to take a shower. Like, I'm thinking about all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I hear all the clicks and beeps because the electric went on. And I, like, threw the blanket off of me. And I jumped up and I'm like, electric! I started cleaning. I cleaned the floors. I cleaned, because the house just felt so dirty to me. And yeah, then we had electric. So we finally got electric back on Saturday. But then I had to go to work on Saturday. So I worked Saturday night. So Sunday was my first like day off in the house with electric that I could like just sit and diamond paint. And that's when I finished the haunted house. So yeah, that was the crazy story about the electric. It was, and then when we were running, apparently the neighbor, like, we don't really talk to the neighbor that we got electric from. We talked to the one neighbor, but she's much older and she wasn't answering her door. So like the other neighbors were like, she's probably out with her sister because her car was there or whatever. Maybe she was sleeping, or maybe she felt uncomfortable answering the door to a guy that she didn't know because it was our contractor knocking on the door at the time. Whatever the case may be, like, she's the one that we talked to. And then we talked to the neighbors behind us, and we don't really talk to them. So they're the ones that agreed to let us use their electric. Like, Bob gave them $40 or whatever. And I guess they kind of felt, I don't know, they called our contractor, like, not, I guess, complaining about it at some point during the night. And then on top of it, because I don't know anything about electric, I was like, well, if I unplug the lamp and use my phone light, I could probably plug in my coffee maker and make a cup of coffee real quick. And then I'll unplug the coffee maker and I'll plug in my phone lamp again. I'll plug in the lamp again. So I tried that, and literally in the middle of making the cup of coffee, it popped their breaker. And I was like standing there in the dark and the fridge wasn't running anymore. And I'm like, oh my God. And it was like 10:30 at night. I'm like, I'm not going over there. I was like so upset. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then all of a sudden, they must have known it popped. They reset the breaker. I was so embarrassed. I like run into the bedroom and I wake Bob up and I'm like looking at him. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm embarrassed. And he's like, what? And I was like, I tried to make a cup of coffee and it popped the breaker. And he's like, no, Kimba, no coffee, no motors, no. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, they reset the breaker, but like, I'm so embarrassed. Oh God. I felt like an idiot. So yeah. So I just plugged the light back in, and then I tried to make a drip cup of coffee by breaking open a pod. Because here's the other thing, like my daughter has this like drip coffee thing, and she has coffee grounds, but they were in the freezer, and in order to plug the fridge in, they had to pull it out from its like cubby, and the doors were up against the island, so you couldn't actually open the fridge. So I couldn't get to her coffee, so I had to use the pod coffee. I just broke open one of my pods, and I guess that's like they grind that up really, really fine, so like all of it fell into my coffee. I still drank it. I was like, desperate times, whatever. I still drank it. But yeah, that was the horrible electric story. And it's all better now. So no, but I'm going to say, like, he went above and beyond trying to, like, because he's not an electrician either, you know. He has to service out that stuff to a certified electrician. And so he was just going off of what the guy was saying. And, you know, he really tried to resolve the issues. And he's a really nice guy. He's a really good guy. And I'm really happy with him. And he was just like, I'm so embarrassed, this and that. And I'm like, don't worry, Paul, we'll hire you again. And Bob's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I do really like him. And I think that, you know, they so far, like, they've done a really good job. And they came on Monday and they did put the door in. And then tomorrow we're supposed to have some kind of inspection. I don't know what kind. But yeah. So we're moving along. And that's that. Okay. So as far as the appointment goes, so we did get some good news. We got the dotatate scan / PET scan. So dotatate scan is a scan that looks at the body for any other neuroendocrine tumors to make sure it hasn't spread. And we got that result back, and that was negative. So it did light up on his pancreas because we know he has the neuroendocrine tumor on the pancreas. And so that was positive, but it did not light up anywhere else on his body. So he is, you know, it did not spread. It is nowhere else on the body. So we have the one tumor to be worried about, and that also helps with staging. So that's, you know, a really good thing. And then the CAT scan. So we were really hoping that when we went there, we were going to know what the next moves were as far as, are we looking at surgery? Are we not looking at surgery? And he basically, the CAT scan, he wanted the CAT scan done at his hospital because he wants the CAT scan done a certain way. And we couldn't do it at his hospital because it would have cost us a lot of money. We would have had to pay for it 100% out of pocket. So he had his nurse navigator call my hospital and discuss with the radiology department how he likes the scan done to make sure that he can see that the images are correct. And they said no problem, they could do it that way. But when he got the CAT scan, it didn't even register the tumor. Like, the result actually says no pancreatic tumor appreciated. Like, it didn't even pick it up. So he was pretty unhappy about that. He looked at the film and he actually looked, because, you know, a radiologist reads it, and he went and looked at the images himself, and he was like, I agree with the radiologist. It's not on there. So, like, the pictures were bad. So he was like, listen, the size of the tumor will dictate a lot of what we do here. So he said, nationally, if a neuroendocrine tumor is 2 centimeters or greater, then nationally, they say it needs to be removed. But if it's 1.5 to 2.0, then it would be based on symptoms and, you know, other tests and studies. And if it's below 1.5, then it would probably be under the category of surveillance. So we'll watch it, you know, we'll keep a close eye on it with images, and if we see anything change, then, you know, we'll revisit the idea of surgery. So he said he wants Bob to have another esophageal ultrasound. So he's like, listen, if I'm going to base whether or not I'm going to, you know, we're going to do surgery on you on the size of the tumor, then we really want to know what the size of the tumor is. He's like, it's not really something you want to guess. You know, you really want to know the exact size, and we don't know. So I want to send you to my guy who does this all the time. And he's like, you know, you haven't had an ultrasound since last year. And I was like, no, he had one in September. That's how we found out about his tumor being back. And he kind of looked at me and he was like, listen, the pancreas is very hard to visualize. And if you don't do it all the time, you're not going to get good film. So basically what he was saying to me is like, your guys don't know what they're doing. And I don't trust their images, and I can't see what I need to see. And, you know, I want my guys to do it. And I'm like, okay, good enough, fair enough. So he's very thorough. And I was talking to someone else, and she was saying that she used to work for like an oncology group, and she's like, that's how they are. She's like, you know, if you get a really good oncologist, they're very particular about their scans. She's like, because they can be sliced and diced so many ways, and, you know, they can show so many different angles and this and that and layers, and they're very, you know, they want them done the way they want them done. And they'll actually like go to a radiology department and say, you're not allowed to read my scans. You're not allowed to read my scans. He's the only one that's allowed to read my, like, because they want it done you know, very specifically. And so she's like, so you got a good doctor who's very thorough. And so yeah, he said, listen, this guy, he does hundreds of these ultrasounds. He really knows how to get good imaging of the pancreas. And, you know, I really want him to do it. So we actually got a call today for a phone consultation with this GI doctor. So we'll be doing that after Thanksgiving, and then I think we'll get scheduled. And yeah, and based on that, we'll know what's going on. So yeah, we don't really have any answers yet. We just know, you know, 100% for sure it has not spread. So obviously we were super relieved with that. But honestly, we kind of knew, like, if anything was going to happen, we're looking at next year. And I upgraded our insurance. So, like, all imaging and stuff by this guy is going to be covered now. Like, we're going to have to pay, I think, a copay or something like that. It's not 100% like it is if it's at my hospital system, but it's as close to it as we could, you know, hope for. So if we're looking at surgery next year, things are going to be more covered. My only concern is, and I didn't think to ask this, while we were there, I thought about this, actually, when I was telling this story to one of my family members, is, you know, no matter what size the tumor is now, we don't know how much of it was removed. And, you know, you know, do we need to take that into account? Like, you know, what if it would be over 2.0 centimeters if it was never touched? You know, does it mean that it's a 2.x amount of centimeter large tumor? I don't know how that works. So that's something that I want to ask him when we do this follow-up. Because we have no idea how much of the tumor was removed. Like, no idea. Could have been half. It could have been a quarter. It could have been, you know. But he also said that having this done again within a 2-month span will also let us know, like, oops, I'm trying not to make noise. Will also let us know, like, how fast it's growing. Because, you know, if he can get an idea of the size on the first one, and then have an exact size on this one, he can get an idea of how fast it's growing. So there's that too. But that's my updates. And it's funny that we stayed overnight in a hotel before this visit again, because we did last time, but we stayed up there. Yeah, that's my updates. And then, like, everything about the artist and my advent calendar, I'm going to go over with you guys while I'm doing the advent calendar. So you can look forward to those stories then. But yeah, I am going to put you guys in a time lapse. And when I get to about halfway, which isn't much longer from now, then we will look at it and say, no, we think it's this, we think it's that. And then, you know the deal. So enjoy the music. guys, it looks like we have another big whale tail here. We get a lot of tails. I'm just trying to straighten these out. I don't know. So, see what's going on over here. So here's a tail, and then this tail is a bigger tail, I think. I think it's a tail. But the only way to know for sure is to finish the square, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Right through the darkness, strangers in the night, escape from the heartless, trying to make things right. Her eyes are filled with water, afraid, alone, so far from home. She's a small town girl, young and pretty, caught a train to the city. One way, she left behind all and nothing, start her life, fight for something. One way, she looks out the window over empty fields. What she's gotten into, still it feels unreal. Her eyes are filled with water, afraid, alone, so far from home. She's a small town girl, young and pretty, caught a train to the city. One way, she left behind all and nothing, start her life, fight for something. One way. A dream, a wish, she's gotta go for it now. She says goodbye, I'm done with this town. I gotta keep my head above water. She's a small town girl, young and pretty, caught a train to the city. One way, she left behind all and nothing, start her life, fight for something. One way.
Okay, there it is, guys. And I don't think that this is a tail. I think that this is the dorsal fin of another whale. You know, like the big fin up here. But there it is. So it's definitely looking like a straight up pod. Don't mind the hairdryer. I waited for her to finish her last round with it, and that took forever. So, yeah, it's definitely looking like a pod. I'm still hoping that we get some other sea creature in here, like a jellyfish or a turtle, but I don't know. Maybe a jellyfish because of the colors. There's no greens or anything like that, but it's so pretty. So this is the square we did. Look at the sparkle and the shine. Yeah, we're getting there, guys. We have 12 more squares to go. I think we're halfway. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we did 9 and 12 more to go. All right, guys, if you like this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out. And if you want to see more from me, you can hit that subscribe button and join the family and friends here at Kimbaskrafts. I would love to have you. You guys have a wonderful week. Take care. Keep diamond painting.